Good evening, everyone. This is the May 22nd Revere City Council Zoning Subcommittee meeting. Today, in attendance on the subcommittee, we have Councillor Keefe, Councillor McKenna, and Councillor Zambuto. Councillor Powers and Councillor Rotondo are absent. We're also joined by Councillor Morabito, Council President Haas, Councillor Charlie Patch, and I believe I got everyone. The first item on our agenda is calendar item C-17-04. Bellevue Revere LLC, 72 Squire Road, Unit 2, Revere, Mass. is seeking permission from the Revere City Council to construct an 8-unit townhouse development on Lot 5, Bellevue Ave, and extend Bellevue Ave as a private way to service said townhouse development.
Good afternoon, councilors. My name's Corey Rhodes. I'm an attorney with D'Ambrosio Brown, LLP, 14 Proctor Avenue in Revere. I represent Bellevue Revere LLC and its principal, Jamie Russo. This is, as we presented a few weeks ago at the City Council hearing, a small-scale condominium townhouse development project. It's going to be 8 townhouses, as you can see on this rendering. These are going to be nice units with good open space, green space, and landscaping. And they do meet all dimensional controls, setbacks, floor area ratios, and do provide the necessary parking for each unit. Each unit has 2 parking spaces. At the urging of Councillor Powers, we did hold a neighborhood meeting on May 13th. And I have to say, I think it was very productive. Many of the neighbors left that meeting saying, you know, I do feel much more positive about this project. I think change coming to any neighborhood can always be a scary thing, and I think it helped to kind of meet the people that are going to be doing the project and hear about more what's going to actually take place. This project does have some significant benefits for the Bellevue Avenue neighborhood. They will be high-quality homes, you know, a lot of landscaping, trees, and green space, something that actually really doesn't have a lot of on Bellevue right now. And we do think this could lead to pretty significant increases for just homes in the area, the value that'll be added by this project. Moreover, the emergency vehicle turnaround that's going to be required by the fire departments will improve the overall function and safety of this street. And we think that's kind of critical importance. And then, as came up at the last hearing, my client is happy to have residents of Bellevue be parking along the opposite side of the new private way that's going to be extended of Bellevue Avenue. And this is going to add about 15 parking spaces by my calculation to allow neighbors and other residents on Bellevue to park on the street. Parking is a big issue down there. We think it's a good project. We think it's going to be a nice design, something that's really going to be an attractive use for this lot. And we're happy to answer any questions you have and ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Rhodes. Are there any other proponents that wish to speak on this? Is there anyone else that has any questions or wishes to address the subcommittee on this project? Councilors. Councilor Keefe.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I was just curious, so you are going to be providing the emergency turnaround? Correct?
Yes, we reached out to the city engineer, DPW. The actual formation where it's going to be, it could be kind of a bubble in the middle that would allow for a vehicle to turn around, or some sort of T at the end. I think those kind of aspects will be better formulated in the planning board hearings to come.
Well, I think that you know, in the public hearing last week, that was one of the biggest concerns for the neighborhood, is they don't have that right now. So adding parking spaces and the turnaround is a big benefit to the neighborhood. So
I'd agree.
Pretty nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Keefe. Councilor McKenna.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. It's nice to see that we had 15 people up here the last meeting, and everybody was, you know, complaining and unhappy, and there's nobody here now. So it seems like you resolved the problem. I went down there, I looked at the space, and I'm glad you resolved the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McKenna. Councilor Zambuto, you're a member of the committee. Any comments?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I'm thrilled. I think this project is going to completely improve the neighborhood, and I'm happy that you had this public meeting with the neighbors and explained to them what you're actually going to do down there, because it's a 180-degree turn not a pun with the turn for the fire department, which is great for everybody's public safety. So I support this project wholeheartedly. How could you not?
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Zambuto. We're also joined by the ward councilor and a voting member of this committee, Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. This is the project that was before us a couple of weeks ago. At that time, I suggested that we have a neighborhood meeting. Subsequently, we did have a neighborhood meeting at the site. And I want to explain my position on this. We have a rendering up here of what this is going to look like. Am I correct when I say they can put 3 two-family units there as a matter of right?
Correct.
Okay. Myself personally, if there was no permit allowed there, I wouldn't be voting to allow anything there. I would be 100% against it. But there is it is zoned for 3 two-family homes. Now, something tells me that any developer going in there and putting just 3 two-family homes that were going to be rented, I presume,
They would.
would not put the same ingredients into the pie that he would do for the townhouses. I think that townhouses are very important versus apartments, because people that are going to buy those townhouses are making an investment in the city. It's not somebody just going to move in there, stay for a couple of years, move out, not have any real feeling for the neighborhood. So I am going to support this evening. And basically, that's the reason I'm supporting it. Again, if he could put nothing in there, I would be 100% against anything going in there. But that's not the case. You've got a situation here, and I've heard the talk about traffic. And it is going to bring traffic into the city. Allowing the townhouses is going to bring 2 more cars into the city. Also, if you don't allow the townhouses, you're going to have 6 more cars in the city if you're going to 2 cars per unit. So I think the quality of the construction, the improvement to the neighborhood with the road going in there, the turnaround for the fire department, I think that's a positive thing. Now, I've been down there myself at night, and I've looked at the cars and the trucks parked down there. To me, that's a major issue with trucks sticking out of driveways versus 2 extra cars. These cars are going to be parked on property, not out on the street. Maybe a couple of cars on the street, no question about it. But basically, it's an improvement to the neighborhood. I can't possibly understand how anyone down there would be pitting town apartments against this. On Sagamore Street, 15 years ago, we had a developer come in and take a piece of land and put some townhouses in there, I believe 6. And one of the things we had him do was put a brand new sidewalk all the way down to Dunn Road. Because I live in that area and I saw kids walking out on the street to school on a daily basis. Kids that are endangered by the traffic coming off Revere Street and flying down there to beat a light or something like that. So those are the reasons I'm supporting this tonight. And I feel very strongly about this. I know politically, maybe it's not the thing to do. But when you run for office, you either run for politics or you run for doing the right thing for the neighborhood. And I think I'm doing the right thing for the neighborhood by voting for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Patch.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, or Chairwoman, I should say. I'm glad we came to a successful agreement here with the neighbors. First of all, I always I usually go with the support of the ward councillor, but I also I feel like he does that by right. This is a much better project, and being familiar with the developer, the work he has done in the past in the city of Revere, I think they'll be pleased with the work that he does, and I'm sure he'll prove his word to the neighbors, whatever conclusions they came to at the meeting. He's a man of his word, and I'm sure at the end they'll be happy with the results. So I'll be in favor of this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Patch. Seeing as there are no other councillors' comments, Madam Clerk is going to read site plan reviews, conditions, and recommendations.
The following findings and conditions have been made with respect to the site plan. 1, a street extension detail plan for Bellevue Ave shall be approved by the fire chief, city engineer, and DPW superintendent, and a street extension layout plan must be approved by the planning board in accordance with Chapter 12.16 of the city ordinances. 2, the street layout plan for Bellevue Ave shall include the installation of water, sewer, and drainage, underground electrical, ornamental street light posts, granite curbing, concrete sidewalks, and street trees. 3, the layout for the Bellevue Ave extension shall include a turnaround at the end for emergency apparatus to be approved by the fire chief. 4, the city engineer, DPW superintendent, and fire chief shall approve the location of new fire hydrants and determination of the adequacy of the existing water main on Bellevue Ave to service the proposed development. 5, there shall be one Chanticleer pear tree planted in front of each townhouse unit within the new sidewalk layout. 6, salt-resistant pine trees shall be planted every 10 feet on center along the westerly side of Bellevue Ave between the railroad tracks and roadway as a noise buffer and screen. 7, the final architectural and material plan shall be approved by the Site Plan Review Committee. 8, in accordance with Chapter 17.47 of the revised Revere zoning ordinance, this project is subject to participation in the Community Improvement Trust Fund. Since the project exceeds what would be allowed as of right by a total of 4 units, the developer shall make a payment into the Community Improvement Trust Fund for 3% of the construction costs of the additional 4 units requested under the special permit. Payments shall be made into the fund in 2 equal installments. The first installment shall be paid prior to the issuance of a building permit, and the second installment shall be paid prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit. And 9, this project is also subject to the SOAR II removal program. The SOAR mitigation fee for this project shall be subject to the following SOAR mitigation formula: 110 gallons per day per bedroom times 10 times $1.30 per gallon. These funds shall be used within the SOAR mini system servicing the proposed development for the removal of 10 gallons of II for every 1 gallon of wastewater discharged from the development. The fee shall be paid in 2 equal installments, 50% prior to the issuance of a building permit and 50% prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councillor Guanasso also joined us in this meeting today. Thank you, Councillor. Attorney Rhodes, did you have any other?
That's it.
Awesome. Are there any other questions on this? Anyone else that wish to address the council on this? All right, I'll call for a vote of committee members.
Councillor Keefe?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor McKenna?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Powers? Yes. Yes. Councillor Rotondo is absent. Councillor Zambuto?
Yes.
Yes. And Chairwoman Giannino?
Yes.
Yes, the special permit will be sent out favorably to the full City Council.
The next item on our agenda is calendar item C-17-05.
Adriana Galeano and Horacio Jaramilo, 52 Bennington Street, seeking permission from the Revere City Council to modify a non-conforming three-family dwelling by converting the basement into 3 additional bedrooms for expanding living area at 52 Bennington Street.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. And we bought this house like 6 months ago. And we renovate right now the first floor and second floor because we want the place where we live looks very good for to live. And this is very good community. We are so happy to live over here in Riviera. And now we had the basement and they don't have anything. And we want to use the space like for to do more rooms and more. This is like one place. This is a beautiful place, but they don't have anything how to use over there. This is for that we are planning. If you give the permit to us, we will make some rooms for two extension for the first floor.
Madam
You're
Clerk
welcome.
is going to read the site plan review recommendation on this project.
This is from the Site Plan Review Committee. Please be advised that the Site Plan Review Committee has reviewed the above referenced special permit request and floor plan for the construction of 3 bedrooms in the basement of a non-conforming 3-family dwelling at 52 Bennington Street. The Site Plan Review Committee cites potential health, fire, and building code issues associated with the proposed expansion of 3 bedrooms in the basement in a highly congested area with insufficient parking, and therefore cannot give any favorable recommendations to this special permit request.
We had over there 4 parkings in front, and we have 3 parkings in the other side. We have 7 parkings over there available for cars.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any councilors? Councillor Keefe?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I took a look at this and obviously went off of some of the site plan reviews information. Those parking spaces, are those off-street or those deeded spots to your home?
It's inside. Inside the home we had in front. Inside we had 4, and we had we can do it more, but for now we have 4. And in the other side from the school, we have 3 more.
Okay.
It's inside.
Inside. Got it. And just, I guess after taking a look at it, my curiosity is it mentioned adding a bedroom, but then it said 3 bedrooms. So you're going to add 3 bedrooms to a basement?
We want to do one laundry for the another. This is because this is very big right now and we don't have anything. And we want to do one laundry for all the apartments that we have over there, these 3 apartments. And the other in one, like living room, like one special living room for to be there, and 2 bedrooms.
Oh, okay. The plans I had 3 bedrooms.
Yeah, it's just like we can use
like a
it.
lot for a basement. I'm all about people using their basements to try and improve the gross square footage of their house and usable square footage. But 3 bedrooms seemed like a lot, and it almost seemed to me that it wasn't use for a friend or a family member to come and stay. It seemed as if there was going to be some want to create more living rooms for other renters. It just seemed like a lot for me. If you were to come and want to maybe add a bedroom in some open space to do laundry or something like that, usable space, like most of us have basements use that.
Yeah.
Just 3 bedrooms seemed like a lot, especially after going off the site plan review. They felt uncomfortable with the congestion of the building to try, especially with egress and parking situations. It just seemed like a little bit too much for me.
But okay, we want to do like one living room, big room that we can enjoy with family there, with some opportunities that we will be together, and maybe two rooms. And we want to do one small room where we put everything from my house, like clothes that we don't use it, and the old things that we have.
Thank you.
Like the, yeah.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor McKenna?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is my ward, and I know exactly where the house is. We've had some problems in the past with past tenants that own this dwelling. 3 bedrooms, to me, only opens up a can of worms because we're inundated with illegal apartments everywhere in the city. So putting 3 bedrooms, and this is what it says on the paper, I wouldn't go for that. If you could come back, I commend you for coming up here and doing it the right way. I do. Because you could have done it, illegally, but you came up here and you did it the right way. But 3 bedrooms is too much for me in a basement. If you could come back here and maybe reword what you want to happen, like
Maybe
he
one.
said, a different living space than 3 bedrooms, because 3 bedrooms, you could bring anybody in there, and that could be an illegal apartment, so.
Maybe we can do, like I told you, one big living room.
Sure.
Like for, yeah,
Sure, if you
more
could
open
come back
space.
and maybe reword this, but 3 bedrooms, I can't
Yeah,
approve this at
we
all.
can, I think we can fix it that.
Okay.
Maybe.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So just a point of information for you, if any changes are made, it has to go back to site plan review before this committee can vote on it. Just so the council's aware of that as well. Councillor Morbido?
Thank you. I have a couple of questions. How many people are currently living at that residency?
How many people? What?
Yeah.
How many people? you
Yeah,
say?
how many people are living in that apartment building?
In the
combined
apartment,
total?
okay. I live with my daughter and my grandson, and my son, and my husband, and me.
So your whole
and,
family, does your whole family share the all
And my
3
brother
floors?
lives over there too, in the 2nd floor, with 4 people more.
So 4
And in the 3rd floor, they live 2 ladies.
So a total of 6 people right now. See, I share the same concern that my Councillor Keefe had. When I saw that you were looking to expand the basement for a 3-bedroom, and I couldn't fathom why, other than you wanted more people to live there. So was the application filled out improperly,
Maybe.
do you think?
Yeah, maybe. Because if they
Because
put
that's what it
everything
looks like.
bedroom and they don't put like one big space for chair, like one living room or something. And maybe we can consider that. We can fix it.
So,
And Councillor Morbido, just to clarify that, I believe that she was referring to each floor, so there's family of 5 on one floor, 5 on another floor, and 2 on top.
so a
So
total
it's
of
12.
12.
This is 3 in the, this is 2 in the 3rd floor. And this is 3 in the 2nd.
That's
And 3 in the 1st.
And
Say
8 total.
Yeah, 8.
8.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Councillor Powers?
Thank you, Madam President. I missed that. On the 1st floor, I'm assuming this is 3 floors, right?
Yes.
On the 1st floor,
Yes. Uh-huh.
how many bedrooms, how many rooms, and how many of those rooms are bedrooms?
It's 3.
3 bedrooms.
Yes.
So you're looking to put 3 more bedrooms downstairs?
We want to do is like one big living room. We want to do the laundry for all the floors. And we want to do one room for us for put like the clothes for winter time, everything that we don't use in the apartment. And like one living room, like big living room that we can share with family over there. Sometimes we make some.
How many windows do you have in the basement?
Windows, they have like...
What size are they?
How many? 8? 8 windows.
And are they, how big are they? I guess that's my question.
How big they are? How big?
Are they cellar windows or regular windows?
I think this is
Pardon me?
36 by 84. 36 by 84.
Yeah. There are certain requirements in bedrooms for the size of windows. And I don't know what they are right now, but I know they're certainly larger than just a small 12 by 18 window. So I personally myself, as far as this is concerned, I think that adding more bedrooms down there is not a way we should be going. If you were adding, I don't know what the zoning is there, but if you were adding an extra floor or something like that, I think that's probably something that the ward council might consider. But I'm going to go with the recommendation of the ward councilor, because I think that just adding 3 more bedrooms or 2 bedrooms and a living room is opening up a lot of doors down there, and I don't think that's an area I want to travel in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Powers. And just so you know, too, it sounds like what you're telling the council is a little bit different than the paperwork that's submitted. So the paperwork is for a 3-bedroom. It sounds from what you're describing that it's 2 bedrooms, storage space, and a living room. So the language of it might be something to revisit. Councilor Zambuto?
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I appreciate you trying to do this the right way. I could never support 3 bedrooms down there. Council Powers was alluding to the fact, he was asking you about sizes of windows. Do you have 2 means of egresses from that basement? Do you have 2 doorways out?
Yes.
Because there are safety requirements.
Yeah,
And
they have it, yes.
you know, you talked about a laundry room, you talked about a living room, you know, as one of my colleagues says, that kind of opens up a can of worms as to what could be construed as an apartment or could be easily converted to an apartment after the fact. I might be able to support 1 room down there, maybe a playroom, but and whatever you do, you're going to have to come back before the council before you get it. You're going to have to go back to site plan review, and somebody from there is going to have to say to me that it's safe. Whatever you're going to do down there is safe, because the last thing we want to hear is that we approve bedrooms in a basement, somebody gets killed there. And it's happened in the past, and it's not going to have my fingerprints on it. So, again, I appreciate you trying to do this the legal way, and maybe you can end up with something down there the legal way, but you're certainly not going to end up with 3 bedrooms, because I can't see any way that would be safe. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Councilor. So at this point, you have 2 options to go before the city, and we do appreciate you doing this the right way and coming before us. Your first is, if it's voted on this evening, closes the opportunity for the issue to be revisited. If it's something that you'd wish to take back and, you know, review the plans and bring it back to site plan review and bring us a new proposal, you have that option as well.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah.
So you'd like to
We can
withdraw
come
this
back.
without prejudice?
Yeah, we can come back another opportunity.
Okay, Councilor Patch, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I wasn't going to speak on this, but I'm just curious. I mean, how did it get to us anyways? Did the building department, I'm sure they, permits-wise, I mean, I know it went to site plan review,
So it's,
but they should have told them right there that all these codes that have to be done, all these, that
I think because
they
it's a
didn't have a shot to get
pre-existing,
through us anyways.
I think because it's a pre-existing non-conforming, the order of business would go to the council because it's on a special permit basis.
Okay. I was just curious, you know, I
No,
mean.
good point, Councilor.
Yeah, thank you.
Point of information, the site plan did give us pretty much they weren't very excited about the application, so they gave us that heads up. And so would we ask that she withdraw or not? Is that what?
We can't ask, but I believe she's proposed that she's withdrawing it. So she asked to withdraw it. So if it's the vote to withdraw without prejudice, all in favor?
Right.
All opposed? So, you know, feel free to revisit this with site plan, work on your plans for it, and then it can come before the city council because it was withdrawn without prejudice. It'll be voted on during the full city council meeting.
Okay.
Thank
Sure.
you. And again, thank you for coming through all the correct motions to do this. We do really appreciate that because it is important.
That's okay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
The next item is calendar item C-17-06. It's
Robert Inello, 727 Revere Beach Parkway, seeking permission from the Revere City Council to construct a second-story addition to an existing nonconforming structure and nonconforming use for the purpose of using the second story as a self-storage warehouse within the RB District at 727 Revere Beach Parkway.
Attorney Rhodes?
Hello again. My name's Corey Rhodes. I'm an attorney with D'Ambrosio Brown. I represent Bob Inello relative to his property at 727 Revere Beach Parkway. This is actually two different petitions in front of you tonight. The first one we'll be dealing with is a special permit. Bob is looking to add an additional story to his current business where he runs Inello Electric out of it. And in this additional story, he wants to run a self-storage use. This is a pretty kind of innocuous use, not really a lot of traffic or people coming all at one time. Really expecting there to be only a few people at any one time coming to the property. This is a 30-foot height that he would be bringing the building to, something that is perfectly allowed in this district. Most buildings, most houses in the area come up to 35 feet. Some of the other aspects, there will be no access onto Taft Street to get into this property or to otherwise come in and out, no garage doors, anything like that, aside from two fire exits. That's the only thing that's going to be in the rear of the property. We did have a meeting with the neighbors, and this was a very good meeting. A lot of, I think, questions were answered, and we were happy to, at the last hearing, condition that there will be no residential use of this property. My client has no intention of bringing apartments to this property. This is strictly a commercial use, and it gears everything towards the parkway, away from the neighborhood in the back. We're happy to answer any questions that you have and would ask for your support on this project.
Thank you, Attorney Rhodes. Councilors? Councilor McKenna?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Yes, we had a ward forum, and people seem to be on board with this. And we did have a condition that there would be no residential occupancy as long as he owned it. So I think everybody's on board with this. I'm on board with this, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other councilors? No? Anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the proposal? Councilor Zambuto.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Some of the neighbors asked me, you obviously met with all the neighbors and you met their conditions, and that's,
Yes.
those are agreed upon. You already said there's no living space there. Correct. And so I think we're in good shape. Great. Thank
Excellent.
you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, if you guys have questions, you can approach the microphone, just because it has to be recorded. Public meeting, sorry. Name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm Maria Christopoulos. I live at 111 Mill Street. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of Inello trucks coming down our street early in the morning. And I was just wondering if any of the other traffic is going to be coming down our street also? Down Mill Street.
Attorney Rhodes?
Seeing as there will be no access, I do even have a back rear rendering of the building. As you can see, there will be no garage door. These 2 points on the rear of the building are strictly emergency exits. That's strictly for the fire code. So there will be no entrance or exit in the back of the building. So there really should be no traffic going down Taft Street.
Or Mill Street.
Or Mill Street.
Thank you, Attorney. Any other councilors? Anyone? If you have questions, feel free. Name and address. This is the time and place for it.
Nico Christopoulos, 111 Mill Street. Yeah, we support Bob in this project. We don't have a problem with it. The Inello trucks were coming down Mill Street. Me and Bob talked. Bob quelled that and put a stop to it. We're just concerned, again, about the parking and the traffic. Because Mill Street, we already have our own issues, as the council knows from a previous business. So that was our big concern. Also, like the signage, was it gonna be illuminated or not? And that's a big question, that's a big concern, because who wants an illuminated sign shining through the window? And it's basically that, and the construction timeline, and no construction vehicles in the residential side of the neighborhood. Other than that, we fully support Bob on it. But these are the questions that we've been asking throughout, this will be the third time we're asking, construction timeline, the signage, and those are the answers we're looking for. And just please make sure there's no traffic coming down Mill Street and with the construction.
Any comments on construction or signage?
Construction timeframe, I think we're looking at 6 to 9 months, approximately. Signage, everything will be geared towards the parkway. There would be no, I don't even think a commercial reason to point anything back towards the neighborhood. It'll all be at the parkway. And we'll be happy to go through the building department and the requirements they traditionally have to put that into place, make sure it's the right kind of thing.
Perfect, thank you, Attorney Rhodes. I think it's always a good situation for the council when a neighborhood and a developer can work together and come to a good conclusion that the neighborhood's happy and the developer gets to build a great project for our city. So definitely a good situation. Any councilors? Madam Clerk will read the site plan review recommendations.
The following findings and conditions have been made with respect to this site plan. 1, new concrete sidewalk shall be constructed along the full frontage of the property on Taft Street, and at least 4 Chanticleer pear trees shall be planted within the sidewalk layout on Taft Street along the rear of the building. 2, there shall be no vehicular access or egress from the site onto Taft Street, and Taft Street shall not be used as a service entrance to the building. There shall be no outdoor storage of materials or equipment allowed on the site. 4, the final architectural and exterior building material plans shall be approved by the Site Plan Review Committee. 5, a parking lot layout and landscaping plan shall be approved by the Site Plan Review Committee. 6, in accordance with Chapter 17.47 of the revised Revere zoning ordinance, this project is subject to participation into the Community Improvement Trust Fund. Since the project exceeds what is allowed as of right by constructing a second-story addition for a self-storage mini warehouse use, 3% of the construction cost associated with the mini warehouse facility shall be paid into the Community Improvement Trust Fund. Payments shall be made into the fund in 2 equal installments. The first installment shall be paid into the fund prior to the issuance of a building permit, and the second installment shall be paid prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit.
Any other councilors have any other questions on this after those conditions have been read? All right, Madam Clerk?
On the special permit, subject to the findings and conditions of site plan review for a favorable recommendation to the full City Council, Councillor Keefe?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor McKenna?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Rotondo is absent. Councillor Zambuto?
Yes.
Yes. And Chairman Giannino?
Yes.
Yes. Favorable recommendation to the full City Council.
Calendar item CZ 17-02.
This is an ordinance further amending the zoning ordinances of the City of Revere relative to 727 Revere Beach Parkway, changing the zoning from residential B to general business.
Attorney Rhodes?
All right, last time, you'll see. Corey Rhodes for the applicant, Bob Inello. This is the second part of the petition. For some reason, this property has, for at least the last 50 years or so, been in the residential B district despite being a longstanding commercial property. We have some information that the commercial use of this property dates back to 1910, I think back when Revere was even a town. It's something that we think is just basically cleaning up the ordinance. We have a longstanding commercial property and we think it would be better suited in the general business district. That's about it.
Thank you, Attorney Rhodes. Councilors? Any councilors? Madam Clerk?
On the zoning amendment, Councillor Keefe?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor McKenna?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Rotondo is absent. Councillor Zambuto?
Yes.
Yes. And Councillor Giannino?
Yes.
Yes.
So that was the last item on the agenda for the zoning subcommittee for May 22nd. We'll have a brief 15-minute recess and the committee of the whole will begin at 6 o'clock.
Appointments.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Councilor Guanasso. Appointment subcommittee will be starting in a moment.